This is the Good Neighbor Podcast, the place where local businesses and neighbors come together. Here's your host, Jim Schaller.
Welcome, good neighbors, to episode number 16 on the Good Neighbor Podcast Estero. Today we have good neighbor Joe Pavich Sr. from Realty World and J Pavich Real Estate. Joe Sr., thank you for taking the time today to speak with us.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, pleasure. And I know I talked with your son, Joe Jr., a little while ago, but I had to come directly to the main man, and I hear you've got some interesting stories.
I have quite a few interesting stories.
I'm sure you do. Well, let's stick to the real estate side of things, and why don't we start out by sharing, a little bit about Realty World and J Pavich Real Estate.
All right. Well, let me first start at how we got here.
Okay.
And we've been residents of Estero 34 years. We moved here in 1989. Had no idea in the world that I would ever be in real estate. I'm an ex-steel worker, and we found Estero because my wife found Estero High School and thought that Joe Jr. would work out great for him because he was graduating 8th grade and starting high school in Estero. So we came down here, no jobs. The day I got here, I found out that the job that was promised to me fell through. I'm an ex-steel worker. I worked for U.S. Steel in Chicago and then got into the automotive world through auto body and auto glass. And I was promised a job here in Florida. And the day we got here, I got the good news that the job fell through. So here we are.
Oh, boy.
We have a house being built. There were only 750 people in Estero. You couldn't get a pizza. You couldn't get a pizza delivered we were building a home in Fountain Lakes.
Wow. Yeah, there wasn't anything here. It was Fort Myers, Naples, and Estero was a pit stop.
That was it. So we had the 15th home in Fountain Lakes, and with the first 2 kids. So
wow.
That was a real treat. They really loved the old time. The people that were here already really loved our skateboarders when we hit the neighborhood.
I'm surprised they had a high school back then.
Yeah, they did. I think Joe Jr. was maybe the second graduating class of Estero High School.
Wow.
Joe Jr. was 14. Jason was 9. So anyhow, when I found out the job, most people would turn around and say, "Hey, listen, I don't have a job. I've got to go back to Chicago." But, I ended up with 5 different jobs at one time. I found a job in the automotive related world. I was a security guard at night for our new community. I worked at Walgreens in the liquor department. I put flags up on 41 for the builders on the weekend.
Well, you did everything.
Whatever it took, to be here and stay here because we loved it. So I'm going to fast forward into our real estate world. So I was watching the Bears game one Sunday in 1992, and the salesman who sold us our home rang the doorbell and asked me if I would sit in the model home for him that day. So I said, "Larry, sure, but but I don't know anything about selling houses." He says, "Joe, you have the same house as the model. You live here. What could somebody ask you?" I said, "Well, Larry, how about construction? Do people ask how these houses are built?" He said, "All you have to remember is CBS, concrete, block, and stucco." So I said, "Larry, I'm from South Chicago. We know CBS Broadcasting, but we also go to CBS weddings." He says, "What's a CBS wedding?" I said, "Chicken, beef, and sausage."
True Chicago.
True Chicago. And so I sat there for him that day, and then again, and then the 3rd week, 4th week. Now I'm starting to like this. So I get a buyer for one of the new homes, and I couldn't get paid for it because I didn't have a real estate license. I was pretty much just a house sitter. So at that point, I decided maybe I should get my real estate license. So I did that, and I worked my way into real estate part time until 1997, when I decided to make the move and go into real estate full time. I worked for Remax for a short period of time,
Okay.
and then I connected with Bob Guerrero, who was ready to open up the first real estate office in Estero. And Bob and I connected, and we opened up an office there at Corkscrew Shopping Center, Corkscrew Village Shopping Center, and that's where we are today. So from 1997, we were
Wow.
opened up our doors the same time Publix opened. So
Wow. And there weren't a lot of people in real estate back then either.
there were not, and like I said, we were the first real estate office in Estero. So we have some bragging rights there. But, so life went on. Joe Jr. graduated high school. He went on to college. Jason came to me when, as a matter of fact, let me back up. We were at a homecoming event at Estero High School, and Jason was on the King's Court. And they asked him, what do you want to do when you get out of school? And he said, I want to get into real estate with my father. So I looked at my wife. I said, did he ever tell you that? I said, no, he never said. We never talked about that. So after the event, he says, well, Dad, I'm working at Publix. They tell me I have good public relations skills, and they want to keep me there. And so I'm either going to work for you or I'm going to work for Publix. How about that for an ultimatum from an
Right?
18-year-old?
Right. Neither option is bad, right? Publix is a great company too.
Yeah. So I said, well, Jason, here's what we're going to do. You're going to start answering the phones little by little. You're going to learn about real estate. And he took it fish to water. I mean, and 18 and a half years old, he had a real estate license, and he was on his way. So along the way, now Joe Jr. spent a couple of years in college. He came back. He was a manager for Enterprise Car Rental, and my wife Joni was the customer relations manager for John Scanlon Auto Group. So we'd say goodbye to them every morning. Have a nice day. And, our schedule was our own. They had to be at work early. And
Right.
Joe Jr. would holler every morning, I'm going to quit my job. I says, quit it. You get your real estate license. So it was 2001 when Joe Jr. and my wife Joni decided to get their real estate license and join us.
That is great. That is great.
So the only problem was when Joni joined, I had to go outside and look and see if my name was still on the door.
Right.
So, we've been we're proud of the fact that we have 40 agents besides my wife and I and Joe and Jason. We have 40 other agents that work for us. And we pride ourselves in being more of a family real estate company. When agents join us, they're part of our real estate family. We're not a dog-eat-dog office, and we've been very successful operating that way. And I would have to say 60-70% of our business is referral.
That's great. That is great.
Just like every father that owns a business and brings his kids in, it either goes two ways. They either ruin the business for them or they take it to a different dimension. And Joe Jr. and Jason took off and went into different segments of the market. funny story along the way. I read a short read. It was called I think it's Who Stole My Cheese, and it was about two mice in a uh, in a maze that were eating this piece of cheese, and one was had a human mind, the other was a mouse. And when the cheese was gone, the human mouse stood around complaining that somebody took his cheese and it's coming back, when the other mouse went out and found another piece of cheese. So here we are, all four of us are working in real estate now. We have a few other agents that work for us, but Fountain Lakes, to date, I could tell you that I've had probably 600 transactions in Fountain Lakes
Wow.
since
Wow.
92. So I felt like this was my piece of cheese, and that the other three had to go out and find their own
Right.
market. So Jason went off to, because let me back up and say, I would ride through the neighborhood and I would see Joe Jr. showing property in Fountain Lakes, and Jason showing property in Fountain Lakes. Joni's got a buyer. And I said, listen, we cannot all live on this one community. So
Yep.
I read this book. We have to diversify here. So
Find
Joe
your
went
own
out
cheese.
after find your own fees. Joe went out to the luxury market, the high end. He built a home in West Bay Club. Jason went east out to Bellaterra and started dealing with a younger crowd. My wife has a big network from Chicago, and she sells quite a bit in Rapallo and in Naples, Gulf Shore Boulevard. And then I'm still here, and I pretty much capitalize in Estero, and I've done real well in Fountain Lakes. It's been a great community for us.
That is great how you've kind of diversified and spread out and really covered the market individually. And that's, that speak volumes for, just your brokerage in general, because like I said, there's a lot of competition out there, especially now. Everybody's
Well,
got a real estate license.
they do, but what I've done different than a lot of other real estate brokers is they'll just hire everyone. You want to work with us, you could hang your license with us.
Yep.
My what I've done, because of the fact that we were successful in finding our own, in real estate they call it your own farm.
Yep.
What I did is I've placed people in different communities around Estero, and if they are successful there, and if someone wants to join our company and they are either living in there or working in that same community, I'll protect them, and I won't hire them and let them have the exclusivity of that particular neighborhood. So as we look around at our agents, we actually have agents in Naples now. Also, we have a satellite
Wow.
office
Okay.
in Naples. But when I look at my roster, I picture a community, which is really nice.
That's great. That's great. That is great. So you've been in the industry for, for quite a long time now, comparatively. What what have you seen? What has changed the most in that time?
Well, for starters, there are 19,600 real estate agents in Southwest Florida.
Just in Southwest Florida.
Just in Southwest. So,
That's bigger than Estero was.
Yeah. So, just I've been the president of the Rotary Club, the president of the Chamber of Commerce. I'm now with Engage Estero. I've been the president of the board of realtors also. And as president, I got a chance to really look at the numbers and see, what's happening out there. And I still stay in touch with that. So in any business, we always hear, well, 80% of the business is done by 20% of the people, whatever business it is. And it just so happens that in real estate now, 93% of the business is done by 7% of the agents.
Wow.
So we've got a lot of people out there that have their license that sell one or two properties during the year,
Yep.
and they are able to maintain their status with their broker. They don't put any pressure on them. we just call them license hangers. They hang their license somewhere, and they do their own thing. So I'm proud to say that our office, with 40 agents right now, we have a sales excellence award every year for agents that are top producers, and we competed with the John. I shouldn't say John R. Wood is a big agency, but your Caldwell Bankers, Century 21s. We had more top producers in our real estate office than some of the national companies had. By the way, I could interject also, Realty World is a national company. It's a national franchise. So there are Realty World locations all over the country. I should say that also.
I did not know that.
Yeah, most people don't. So, we people, I tell people right from the beginning when they're new agents, I like new agents, I let them learn how we do business, and listening is the main thing. If you listen to your client, we pride ourselves in saying that we don't sell homes, we help people make good decisions. So if somebody's coming to town and they're going to look at houses, we want to talk to them. We want to know what they're looking for, and set up a program, set up a schedule of when you're showing them property. If they want a house that is on a lake and they want 4 bedrooms, that's what we're going to show them. And we're going to take a look and preview houses before we show that to them, instead of they come to town ready to buy a house and you walk in and they look around, they say, well, this isn't really what we're looking for. So we're good listeners, and we know the market. We know you have to know to be successful in real estate now. You need just to know everything about the community, about the Estero in general. I mean, if somebody's a golfer, make sure we know what type of game they play. If they're a 1 handicap golfer, we're not going to take them, to Country Creek, So, listening to them and understanding because people buy lifestyle. It's all about Absolutely. The lifestyle. They pick the lifestyle, and then we show them the property that they would like that we feel would fit their needs.
Now you mentioned the community, and I know you do quite a bit. You are involved. You've been in Estero for a long time, so you've seen it grow. What kind of things are you doing within the community to help it grow?
Well, we were the Estero Council of Community Leaders was formed years ago, which actually led Estero to cityhood. And once the Estero became the village of Estero, became a city, then the ECCL pretty much became, like a community information group. We had a representative from every community, well, most communities, and we would have meetings and we would talk about what's happening in the community. We wanted people to know that once they see a zoning change, sign on a property, that they may have a grocery store there or a car dealership there, where, almost like a watchdog kind of group for a lot of years.
That's great.
And recently we changed our name. I'm the chairman of this group. We changed our name to Engage Estero. And what we're just trying to do is keep people informed in the different gated communities, and keep them up to date on their surroundings, what's happening. This vacant parcel on the corner of Coconut 41, what's happening there. We know what's happening there, and we try to give people that information and get them involved.
That's involved. Great. That's important for any community, and it's great that you are the person that is helping spearhead some of that. So outside of real estate, the community, what do you enjoy doing to relax?
Well, you know what? It's funny that you should say that. I guess I don't relax.
Right. Always on the go. That's great, though.
Always on the go. You know, I'm a car guy. You know, we have had a project where we were working on. Jason and I were working on an old Mustang, and you know, I've got a Corvette. We like to go to the different car shows, and you know, just Joni and I being in the same business and working for the same company, we try to, you know how that goes. We
Yep.
just try to relax and, you know, just enjoy Florida.
Exactly.
So,
That's why we live here.
That's why we live here. And we're big fan, you know, we're family oriented. We have 7 grandchildren now, so
Wow.
they range from six years old to Jackson will be 18. So when they say, "What do you do in your spare time and how do you enjoy yourself?" We just love our grandkids. Joe just stopped by and told me that I have to take his son Joey to baseball practice tonight. So we're big Little League baseball fans. He's on a traveling team, and Jackson is 18 years old now. He'll be getting ready to get out of high school. I think he'll probably end up in Realty World J Pavich University. Joe, every one of these kids have different interests, so we follow them around. And our life, we enjoy just being around them and being involved in the activities that our grandkids are involved in.
And that's wonderful that they are so close to you as well. It's
and they were all born in Estero, and they all live in Estero. So it's really
I blame my parents for not being born in Florida. So good for them. Well, Joe, I appreciate you taking the time today. We'll have to do this again. Like you said, you do have a lot of interesting stories. But
I've got a few more.
There you go. Well, you have a great day, and we will see you out in Estero soon.
Sounds good. You will see me there. If you don't see me, you'll see billboards at J Pavich everywhere.
Quick question: how would people get a hold of you if they have questions or want to find a house in Estero?
The easiest way to reach me is by text 239-470-7837 or our www.jpavich.com.
Perfect. Joe, I appreciate it again. You have a wonderful family, and you have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
All right.
I really
Thank you for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast Estero. To nominate your favorite local businesses to be featured on the show, go to gnpestero.com. That's gnpestero.com or call 239-296-2621.